If you are planning to vote in this year's presidential election, time is running very short. Coming up, we'll show you how one campus organization took time to help students prepare to have their voice heard in November.
The Red Raider football team headed to Manhattan, Kansas this weekend to take on their second conference opponent of the year. But could Tech rack up a win on their first road trip? MCTV's Ryan Heller will have a look at that game and more in sports.
And events on campus may be running a little slim this year, but that doesn't mean there aren't any opportunities near campus. MCTV's Patricia Perry has a look at one local attraction that has been offering Tech students a fun diversion for nearly 20 years.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Berkeley Adams.
And I'm Krizia Williams.
The sixth week of the fall semester wrapped up last Friday, and that means most students are gearing up for midterm exams. But last week also marked another milestone as the university continues in-person instruction during the COVID-19 pandemic. On Friday, Texas Tech officials reported 27 new cases of the coronavirus after 20 students and 7 employees tested positive. The increase in the cases brought the total number of active cases to 203. But even with the increase of infections, last week the university reported a total of only 153 new cases between Saturday, September 26th and Friday, October 2nd. Not only is that less than the 178 cases reported during the previous week, but it's also the 5th week in a row that Texas Tech has reported a decrease in the total number of infections. As of Friday afternoon, there has been 1,738 cases of COVID-19 reported in the Tech community, made up of 1,544 students and 194 employees. As a reminder, free on-campus testing continues at the TTU Museum Sculpture Court Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Sculpture Court is located on the west side of the museum facing the hospital, and it's free for all students, faculty, and staff. Just be sure to wear a mask and bring your TTU ID. For more information on the university's response to COVID-19, just visit emergency.ttu.edu/coronavirus.
Even though COVID-19 infections appear to be decreasing on campus, there is concern of another possible outbreak as cold weather moves into the South Plains area. On top of that, one student group is also afraid that a travel-heavy holiday could add to the number of infections on campus. On Thursday, September 24th, the Texas Tech Student Government Association approved Senate Resolution 56.17. In that resolution, the SGA recommended that college administrators vote to end in-person instruction and testing before Thanksgiving break. The resolution states that this change would help to, quote, effectively mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and aid in the protection of the health of students and faculty at Texas Tech University. The resolution goes on to name exceptions to the end of in-person instruction, including students who need access to campus facilities such as labs or the library, as well as students who live or work here on campus. Following the passing of the SGA resolution, Provost Michael Gallion sent out an email last Friday to see if faculty members would be in favor of ending in-person classes before the Thanksgiving break. In the email, Gallion includes the SGA's exceptions along with a list of conditions that would be necessary to make the change. The conditions state that there would be no change to the current schedule for fall. All online classes would have to be given during the day and time specified in the fall final exam schedule. Students would need to use a proctoring software during exams that would require a webcam and reliable internet connection, and faculty would ultimately make the decision whether or not to allow any in-person meetings or exams for students still on campus per the SGA exceptions. The email included a link to a survey that is to be completed by tomorrow by 5 p.m. If campus administrators decide to end in-person classes before the Thanksgiving break, the announcement will most likely be made sometime within the next couple of weeks.
Today is the last day to register to vote in Texas in time for the upcoming presidential election. With that in mind, one student group set up shop near the sub to give students one last chance to get things in order to have their voice heard next month. The Student Government Association held a voter registration drive all day today in the Sub West Plaza. Representatives from the SGA set up shop at 9 a.m. this morning along with several local deputy registrars who were there to officially sign up potential voters. Students interested in registering had to have a form of official identification and then fill out a form to be submitted to the state. Today's drive was scheduled to continue until 5 p.m. this afternoon, but anyone interested in voting in November could also register at local libraries, post offices, and other government offices.
You may not know it, but Texas Tech has its own student-run radio station right here on campus. And last week, the station took time to promote college radio during an annual event. Last Friday, KTXT-FM, the Raider 88.1, participated in the 2020 edition of International College Radio Day. College Radio Day is celebrated each year by hundreds of stations in the United States and around the world. The event is used to help bring awareness to the influence college radio has on universities and the communities they serve. A big part of the annual celebration is a 24-hour live broadcast featuring student-produced content and shows.
We have volunteer shows where DJs are playing alternative tunes, and then we also have some awesome staff shows in the middle of the night with different themes for College Radio Day. Usually we do a live band, but instead we're going to do a phone-in interview at 10 p.m. tonight with one of our bands that we chart on the radio, and that's going to happen instead of a live band in studio.
Along with the 24-hour broadcast, KTXT also set up in the Sub West Plaza at 11:30 on Friday to give out free swag to students who liked them on social media. KTXT officially wrapped up their observance of College Radio Day on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. with a special edition of their morning show, Good Morning Texas Tech. If you would like more information on how to get involved with KTXT, just visit ktxtfm.org.
Many students attending college are often looking for a furry friend to help through the stress of schoolwork. And just last week, one Lubbock business offered an easy way for potential pet owners to find a new companion. Lubbock's Adventure Park hosted a pet adoption event last Wednesday evening from 5:30 to 8 p.m. The event featured several local shelters with dozens of animals looking for a new home. The Haven Animal Shelter, Saving Grace Pit Bull Rescue, Paws Pet Adoption, and more were all on site with representatives willing and ready to help with the adoption process.
People are nice, everybody's looking at everybody's animals and hope we get a lot of adoptions for everybody here.
We've had a few adoption applications ourselves.
Yes,
I think
we
we
have.
saw a fat boy go home with someone.
Yes, we even saw a cat out here, which is fine. We have cats.
We would love for Lubbock to get out and support these local shelters, local rescues, and get out and adopt a pet. If instead of shopping for a pet and purchasing from a breeder, adopt first. But we urge you not to adopt a pet unless you are going to commit to that pet's life for the rest of its life.
Last Wednesday's event also featured a car show and a reduced fee for pet microchipping and registration. All process fees last week's pet adoption and car show went directly back to local Lubbock shelters.
So far, the beginning of the month of October has not felt much different than the last few weeks here on the South Plains. After a mild weekend of highs near 80 degrees, it looks like we're actually in for a return of even higher temperatures this week. Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The MCTV Tower Cam is showing bright, sunny skies today, and with the sunshine, we've also seen warmer conditions with highs creeping up towards 90 degrees. By sunset, temperatures may reach above 90, but they'll drop back down quickly after dark, with lows expecting to fall into the 50s. Tomorrow, we can expect more of the same with another sunny and warm day. Winds will be slightly breezy, but beyond that, it should be a very nice afternoon. Wednesday also looks to remain sunny and with very light winds and clear skies, but evenings on all 3 days will still be a bit cool with lows falling back into the 50s each night. Looking ahead, we should continue to see more 90-degree days with plenty of sunshine through at least the weekend.
The Texas Tech football team had high hopes to rack up another win after a tough defeat against a ranked opponent last week in Jones Stadium. But would the Red Raiders have any better luck as they headed north for their first Big 12 road matchup? MCTV's Ryan Heller joins us now with a look back at Saturday's game and more in sports. Ryan?
Thanks, Berkeley. Texas Tech football unfortunately came up short against the Kansas State Wildcats as they lost 31-21. After falling behind 14-0 in the end of the first half, the Red Raiders came out strong in the third quarter, outscoring K-State 14-3. However, it was not enough as the Wildcats got back on their groove in the fourth quarter and rolled out to win. Alan Bowman left the game in the first quarter with what looked to be a right leg injury. Henry Columbi took over and threw for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Xavier White ran for 113 yards and a touchdown. Next week, the Red Raiders will head out to Ames, Iowa to take on the Iowa State Cyclones. Kickoff is set for 2:30, and you can watch the game on ABC. Texas Tech volleyball finished their weekend series in Ames, Iowa with a split as they took on the number 13 Iowa State Cyclones. In the first game on Friday, the Red Raiders lost 3-1. Allison Bloss had 6 kills and 3 blocks and an ace. Samantha Sanders had 11 kills and 2 aces, and Alex Kirby had 33 assists. Then yesterday, they won in a nail-biter 3-2. Brooke Canis recorded 17 kills. Allison Bloss had 11 kills and 4 blocks, and Alex Kirby had 52 assists. Later this week, the Red Raiders will head out to Fort Worth to take on the TCU Horned Frogs on Thursday and Friday. Both matchups will begin at 5 p.m., and you can catch both games on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Texas Tech soccer traveled out to Norman, Oklahoma over the weekend to take on the Oklahoma Sooners, where they ended the game in a 2-2 draw. Junior midfielder Charlotte Teeter scored both goals for the Red Raiders. Oklahoma took the lead in the first half. Then in the second, Teeter was able to tie with a penalty kick in the 69th minute. The Sooners responded with another goal in the 80th minute, but then Teeter fired back in the 88th minute of play to tie it up at 2, but that's where it would stay for the rest of the game. The Red Raiders will stay at home at the John Walker Soccer Complex for their next game on Friday when they take on the number 4 West Virginia Mountaineers. The game will start at 7:15, and if you are not able to make it to the game, you can still catch all the action on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. The MLB Playoffs continue today as the divisional round kicks off. To start us off, we have 2 games today. The Houston Astros are currently taking on the Oakland A's on TBS. The A's took down the Chicago White Sox last round 2-1, and the Astros swept the Minnesota Twins last round 2-0. Tonight, the New York Yankees will face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at 7:07 and will also air on TBS. The Yankees swept the Cleveland Indians 2-0 last round, and so did the Tampa Bay Devil Rays against the Toronto Blue Jays. The NBA Finals continue tomorrow as the Miami Heat refused to be swept and defeated the LA Lakers in Game 3, 115-104. The Heat came out with some real fire, pun intended, as they outscored the Lakers in all 4 quarters, and 5 different players scored double-digit points. Jimmy Butler recorded a triple-double with 40 points and 11 rebounds, 13 assists, along with 2 blocks. They will play Game 4 tomorrow at 8 p.m. The game will be televised on ABC. Well, that's all for sports. Back to you, Krizia.
Thanks, Ryan. With the fall semester in full swing, it's nice to find an occasional escape from the stresses of schoolwork. Luckily, there's several nightly options there that are only a short drive to campus that offer some fun seasonal flair. MCTV's Patricia Perry stopped by one of those attractions last week that offers some unique fall activities.
I'm Patricia Perry, and I'm here at the Corn Maze where they are having a surprisingly good turnout despite the pandemic going on this season. They have a lot of fun attractions for people of all ages, including the maze itself, the corn cannons, the hay rides, and much more. The Corn Maze is a very popular attraction in the Lubbock community. They have fall activities you can enjoy like the maze, hay rides, pumpkin trails, bonfires, and food to enjoy. Usually, their September is off to a pretty slow start, but this year they were very pleased with the outcome they had.
Yes, it has surprised us. Usually our September is very slow. We usually start out real slow, we peak in October and then slide back down in November. This year we hit the ground running. I think the weather has been beautiful. Everybody was ready to get outside and do something fun with their families, and we have plenty of space, to spread everybody out. So it has been surprising. It really has.
Adel Farms has done their best to make sure the corn maze was safe for all visitors. They have done their part in making sure everyone was distanced and being safe, and said it was hard to prepare for, but they have had a good turnout.
We were very concerned going in, and we tried to do everything we were supposed to do as far as a business, with signage and hand sanitizing stations and spacing and educating our employees. So it was a lot to prepare, but once we got going, it has been a pleasant surprise.
The corn maze out at Adel Farms is an activity people of all ages can enjoy. Andrew Adams shares how his youth group brought him here for a bonding experience.
They brought us here just to get closer as a whole group because there's a lot of new kids coming in and there's just a new group of people. So we decided to do this as like a icebreaker deal to get together.
Overall, Adel Farms has been putting on this fall attraction for 20 years, and they don't see it ending anytime soon. Simpson said she was very grateful to the Lubbock community for coming out and supporting the farm. For MCTV, I'm Patricia Perry.
So Krizia, are you planning to stop by the maze this year?
I am. I'm super excited to have some cute pictures with my roommates.
Yes, I'm so excited to take the pictures. That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thank you so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.